Before we get into the review, I just want to let it be known that the original Shin Megami Tensei V on Switch was done by a different reviewer for Noisy Pixel. The original Shin Megami Tensei V was a highly anticipated mainline entry for many fans eagerly awaiting since the Switch's arrival. Alas, its eventual release left many unfulfilled due to certain character and writing decisions. However, this has led to a resurgent interest after the announcement of its enhanced re-release, Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance. Besides implementing a brand new story route, the Canon of Vengeance, countless gameplay additions and improvements have been made to differentiate this title from the 2021 release. The marketing genuinely painted Vengeance as a brand new experience, and in some ways, it is. That said, while this is an impressively addictive iteration, the writing ultimately left a sour aftertaste. After first beginning Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance, you are quickly greeted with a new scene that asks whether you'll take a certain girl's hand. Doing so will initiate the new Canon of Vengeance's story route, while not doing so will put you on the original Shin Megami Tensei V story route, the Canon of Creation. The start of the Canon of Vengeance is promising and captivating, all in part thanks to the new characters. During this route, the general narrative plays out pretty similarly, with new incorporations frequently making themselves known. Notably, the new ally character, Yoko Hiromine, along with the new antagonists. Once you progress enough, the divergence kick off in full force, with the protagonist even gaining a new form amidst it all. The state of the Canon of Vengeance is promising and captivating thanks to Yoko, a talented mage and transfer student who acts as an excellent foil to the returning character, Tao. In fact, this duo is a prominent focus for a decent portion of this new narrative. The antagonist group elicit genuine intrigue as they present a level of danger seemingly tenser than what the original narrative provided. They each stand out on their own personality-wise and have a few standout boss battles. Another positive aspect of this new storyline is the increased focus on Yuzuru, a returning character who was underutilized in the Canon of Creation. His motivations, care for his sister, and contrast with Ichiro are displayed significantly, ultimately making him a moderately more endearing cast member. However, the writing takes an almost comical nosedive soon after you gain the new Nahobino form. Following this, the antagonists become non-existent, rendering their previous relevancy and intimidation largely moot, even when considering their own motivations. Further, their pacing takes a sharp left turn, with dryly delivered exposition and backstory alongside a swiftly approaching finale that does not feel earned whatsoever. The questionable quality is bolstered by a new map, which happens to be the worst designed area in the game, suffering from uninspired warp puzzles and walls of copy-pasted demons each way you turn. As vague as this may sound, the already frustrating ambience of the original SMT 5 is still present here, with what comes across as a greater lack of tonal direction. The thematic intentions are comprised of compelling notions, yet they're never capitalized on. Now, these may all sound like irredeemable negatives, and to an extent, they kind of are. Still, I can't deny that in terms of gameplay, SMT 5 Vengeance is some of the most fun I've had in any RPG this year. In fact, I can confidently claim that it is one of the most enjoyable Atlus titles that I've ever played. The original release was already a highly addictive, satisfying RPG, and Vengeance enhances its strength tenfold. In all honesty, I described SMT5 as a half-adventure game, and Vengeance is no different. The various zones you visit are all vast, boasting chests, collectibles, side quests, and other optional materials. In this new release, Mangatsu Rails has been added, simultaneously being fast travel points for specific parts of the zone and entrances to newly added portions of the map that, while compact, have new items to collect. These feel like natural extensions of the world, instilling greater cohesion and swiftness during exploration. There are also several new quests, such as some that let you control demons. These instances, though, are purely supplemental, as they chiefly contain dialogue exchanges that add appreciated variety. Adding to the improved exploration is the new area Shinjuku. Contrasting with the new dungeon, Shinjuku became my favorite zone entirely thanks to its magnetic aesthetic, outshining the rest of the locales. The ultimate point being that if you enjoyed the sense of adventure in the original, Vengeance excels in just about every avenue that you can conceive. The new sky view functionality, which lets you see the map directly from above, is another terrific addition that mitigates potential issues with elevation perception. Yet another notable improvement is the combat balancing. Whereas the original SMT V felt highly dependent on being leveled enough to deal with select foes adequately, Vengeance tends to favor planned out strategies a little more. If you face a demon who's 10 or so levels above you, it's more than possible to defeat them if you use buffs and have a party of appropriate affinities. Consequently, the game can feel moderately easier, yet it's always more rewarding. The genius of the press turn system is in full force here, since being overconfident against a typical standard enemy can result in your demise. Vengeance also boasts more human allies during battles, and they basically operate just like demons, with their own skills and affinities. For instance, Yoko is a fairly skilled mage with elemental utility that covers plenty of ground, being the most powerful compared to the likes of Dazai and Tao. I only struggled with a few of the new boss battles, but for the most part I was able to prevail with no grinding and simply just assessing my demon lineup. Plus, the demon negotiations felt significantly more lenient, and when considered alongside the improved fusion systems, gaining new allies was never a chore. Said improvements include the new Dyad Compendium fusion, which is an option that lets you fuse demons in your stock and compendium. A completely brand new feature in Vengeance is the characterizations found in the Demon Haunts, which basically allows you to interact with the demons in your party. Various stat gains and new skills can be gained here as well. Speaking with specific demons after a certain amount of time will grant free stat points. Admittedly though, these boons felt a tad over generous at points, to the extent where demon allies can gain straight up increased potentials for skill types. The gift giving accelerates this learning process to a degree where I wish it was either rebalanced or removed entirely. One last feature worth emphasizing is the ability to save anywhere. To be candid, I'm mixed on this incorporation. I'm probably a distinct cry from your expert Megami Tensei fan, yet a limited save structure usually instills tension into your decision making in the long run. On the other hand, the sheer degree of freedom this new option provides is indescribable. I suppose that given the scope of these new explorable areas, it's less frustrating to have the capacity to save anywhere as an option to fall back on. On PS5, Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance is a smooth, slick experience that feels relieving after having experienced it on Switch, where the erratic frame rate negated some of my desire to continue at some points. The enhanced resolution and frame rate here are truly game-changing with how long you spend exploring, breathing some much-needed life into this ambitious outing. After well over 100 hours, Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance's gameplay never dulls. Aside from a few minor grievances, its continuous demon acquisition, sublime sense of adventure, ceaselessly earned rewards, and endless avenues of replayability via the 2 story routes and new Game Plus options are unrivaled. However, its new narrative falls short, feeling rushed and poorly paced the further you progress, despite its innately captivating premise. So if you're just in this for the plot, Vengeance may not be for you, especially if you're seeking a more fulfilling tale after experiencing the Canon of Creation. Still, Atlus has hit a home run here with combat and exploration, and I managed to stick around to see everything this entry has to offer, regardless of its shortcomings. Noisy Pixel is giving Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.